Hi and welcome back to another video of jPlay. I am Marcus and today I want to walk you through a couple of rounds of Majesty. Bear with me, I only have the German version of the game, so as usual I will try to translate as much as I can. Not that there is really much to translate in this one here, but yeah, just as an heads up for you. I will also not do a full playthrough of this one here today, really walking you through a couple of rounds, and yeah, let's see how things go.
Okay, the stage is set for a 3-player game. You can really play it with 2 or 4 players. It works evenly well, to be honest, so I've really tried it in various constellations. And look how nicely those building tiles really go together. I totally love the artwork in this game. Really a great job. It really looks so nice and so cute. And as I mentioned, I'm playing with the German version of the game. So here we have the mill, the brewery, that's the cottage. There we have the guardhouse, the barracks, the inn. And all the way to the right we have the castle and the infirmary. Today I will play with the A side on all of those cards. So all of those cards come double-sided. So here we have the mill, the standard version. The A side pretty much gives you 2 gold when you do something here. You can flip it to the other side, which is, let's say, rewarding also for the other players and also gives you potentially more points at the end of the game. But again, I will only play on the A side later on. You may want to flip all of those cards to the B side. You can mix and match A and B, but of course everyone will play on the same side for each and every building. So if someone is flipping the barracks here to side B, all the other players will do that too. All of the players will start with 5 of those meeples, and they are pretty much workers, and I will explain this mechanic as I go. And here in the center of the table we have the character cards offering, and depending on the amount of players you will remove some of the 1 pile here, some cards from the 1 pile here, and on the bottom there is the 2 pile, which pretty much offers you some level of balancing in the game. And then we are already good to go. Majesty is played over 12 rounds, so when each player has exactly 12 characters in his realm, then the game would be over. And you can easily tell that by checking the draw pile here. So when there is no card left to replenish the offering here, then you know, okay, this was already the last round. But I think it may be a good idea to count your cards every now and then in order to make sure you will have all the cards that you need in order to play this game. The winner is determined by simply counting up the money. So the player with the most money wins the game, and here those awesome and thick poker chips come into the picture. This is really great. I always like poker chips, and I was really happy to see those in Majesty as well. Okie dokie, let's start playing. A turn is really simple. When it's your turn, you are pretty much have to get one of those cards that is currently available. If you take the first card here, it doesn't cost you anything. If you want to jump over this first card here because you want to get this witch, you have to spend 1 of your meeples on each card you're jumping over. So if I want to go for this innkeeper here or for this guard, I would have to place 2 of those meeples. Easy as that. But in this case, the offering is so damn tempting, I will totally go for the, I think it's a noble or so. Yeah, let's take the noble and let's place her underneath our castle here. And then we would trigger the ability. Per noble you have in the card, including this one, you get 5, I don't know, coins plus 1 meeple, which is great. So let's go for those 5 coins. So this is pretty much 5 victory points already. We also get an additional meeple, but we can never have more than 5 meeples. So this guy will do some work for us, and therefore we just gained an extra coin for that. And that's already the end of turn 1 for the first player. So overall he was able to accumulate 6 victory points in total. Not a bad start. All those cards will slide down, so we would reveal a new card, and then it's already the turn of the next player. Player 2 is a little bit paranoid, so I think he wants to get that guard here. So he will spend 1 meeple and he will grab this guard. He can now choose to, if he wants to get this innkeeper here, or if he wants to get the guard. And in this case, he wants to get the guard here. So first of all, the guard helps you defend yourself. Right now, there is no threat out on the board, so we can simply skip this. And then he gets pretty much 2 coins for each guard, soldier or innkeeper he currently have. It's his first card, so this means he just made 2 coins, which is not too bad. Again, we will slide everything down. Turn is done. Wow, another noble. That's really great, but it would cost him all his 5 meeple in order to get her. So I think the third player is not going to get that one yet. And I think, yeah, why not? He will spend 1 meeple in order to take this card here. And again, he can choose if he wants to get the miller or the brewer here. And I think he wants to go for the brewer, which he will place next to his brewery. Now he gets 2 coins plus 1 meeple for each brewer he currently have. Right now it's only 1. So he takes 2 coins here, and on top of that he also gets an additional meeple here for this one here, and right now he can hold this meeple, so this meeple goes right to his card here. Again, another turn done. But in theory you would now also check if any other player or any player also has a miller, at least 1 miller in his realm, and that all of those players, including himself for example, would also gain an additional 2 coins. Right now we don't have any millers in our kingdom, so we can directly jump into the end of the round. Everything will slide down again, and then we already have completed our very first round. So each of the players now has 1 character card in his realm. 2 meeples on a card is really tempting, so I think player 1, yeah, I think he will get this card. So he's allowed to gain both of those meeple. We will place them next. Of course, he will also be allowed to take the witch. So let's place her next to her cottage. Now she could heal a card. Right now, he doesn't have any wounded characters in his infirmary here, and for each character you hold at the end of the game you would lose 1 coin. The B side of this card is much tougher because first of all you would lose 2 coins per character, and if you have the majority of wounded characters you would lose another 10 points. So this can be really punishing, but yeah, keep in mind we are only playing on the A side. But of course the cottage also provides some victory points or coins. In this case it's for each witch or brewer or miller you currently have. You would gain 2 coins. Right now he only has this 1 witch, so this is an additional $2. But as he just grabbed those 2 meeples and he cannot hold those meeples, they will work for him, so he will gain an additional 2 coins. Okie dokie, let's slide down everything. Okay, here we have another brewer, and then it's player 2, and this is now really tempting. There is this lone soldier there, and none of the other players currently holds a guard. So I think, yeah, he will do that. He will play it a little bit more aggressive. So he will place a meeple here, a meeple there. He will grab this card, of course. He will go for this soldier, who will be placed next to his barracks here. And now the first thing that would happen is an attack here. So we would count pretty much all the sword symbols and compare them to the shield symbols of the other players, and whichever player has lower shields than the attacker has swords will now lose a character. Right now he's the only player who has a guard, so both of the players will now have to send their leftmost character to the infirmary face down. So wow, this was definitely a bad turn for player 2, but the same of player 3, but the same is true for player 1, who will lose his witch for now. There is always chance with another witch to pretty much heal her, but of course those guys will never trigger again. So whoever comes from the infirmary back to the realm will not trigger his or her special ability again. But we are not done yet, as player 2 still gets 3 coins for each soldier he currently has. Right now it's only 1 soldier, so he gets 3 more coins. Then it's player 3, and again we see this noble here, and this is tempting. So he will place 1 meeple there, 1 meeple there. He will grab the noble next to the castle, so therefore he will gain 5 coins and 1 additional meeple, which he now has to place into his village. But you can never have enough meeples in order to get the more promising cards or character cards throughout the game. Okay, back to player one, and I think again he sees those two meeples and he wants meeples, so he will go for this miller. We will place her next to the mill. Now the player gets 2 coins for each miller he has. Right now that's only 2, but keep in mind he also took those 2 meeples, so he will get 2 more coins. Player 2 is slowly running out of meeples, so I think he will do pretty much the same. He will go for the first miller here, so let's grab her. Let's put her next to the mill, therefore he gains an extra 2 coins. And also keep in mind that there are some insanely huge bonuses at the end of the game. First of all, you will pretty much multiply all of the cards, all of the buildings where you have characters on. So if you manage to have characters in all 7 of the first buildings, you would pretty much multiply 7 by 7 and you would gain 49 more points. So this is really something that you also want to make sure that you get at least 1 character in a building. But on top of this, you also get additional coins for the majorities of each of the buildings. So for example, if player 2 has the most soldiers at the end of the game, he would also score 14 more victory points. And there it's always friendly ties. So if he would be tied with, I don't know, player 3, both of the players would gain 14 points. And you do that for each and every building. So here you would get 10 for the majority, 11, 12, 13, 14. You basically get the picture. If you flip them to the other side, they are definitely way more powerful. So I think the mill will then score 14 points if you have the majority, and so on. So this is really also something that you really have to keep in mind. Okay, coming back to player 3. He may want to go for either this miller or the brewer. I think the brewer is not good for him because he would give all the other players 2 extra coins because of the ability of this brewer. He himself would gain 2 coins plus a meeple, and all players who have at least 1 miller would gain 2 extra coins. If he would have also have a miller, then I think he would go for that. But right now he's giving basically 4 victory points away to the other players in total, so I think he'd rather not so. Instead he will go for this miller, place her next to the mill, and therefore he will simply get 2 extra coins. Then it's back to player 1, and I think, should he now go for this soldier here, or for this knight, or should he go for the innkeeper here? Here I'm not 100% sure. I think he will definitely go for this card, that's clear. So let's place 1 meeple here, 1 meeple there. Let's grab this card. And I think he would rather go for the tavern, or not. No, let's go for the knight. You can never have enough knights in your round. Again, we will see an attack. Player 2 is protected because he currently has 1 guard and he's only been attacked by 1 knight. But unfortunately, it's player 3 again. So again, he will lose 1 of his poor characters, and will be sent to the infirmary. And on top of this, the player 1 will also gain 3 extra coins because he currently has 1 knight in his realm. Now it's back to player 2. This knight here is really, really dangerous. So I'm not sure if he wants to get it or not. Right now he will punish both players and he would gain 6 coins for that. But he would also lose 2 meeples. But I think he wants to do that. He wants to play it aggressively. 1, 2. Let's grab this knight. Let's place this next to his barracks, and now he will attack with 2 sword symbols. So all the other players would now have to have at least 2 guards in order to defend from this attack. So in this case, poor player 3 will lose yet another character. But player 1 is also not doing really great, so he will lose his miller for now. And on top of this, player 2 will now score 3 coins for each sword he has. That's 6 coins in total. Not too bad. Wow, this is now not looking good again. He has some tough choices to make. Of course, he wants to go for the witch in order to get some of his character cards back. But here are already 2 meeples on each of those cards. Wow, that's now tough. No, I think he will go for the brewer here, so he will take both of those meeples. Let's place this brewer here. Not really sure if that's a good idea, to be honest, but still he will get 2 coins and 1 extra meeple for that. So let's have a look at his village. He has 3 meeples. 1 goes to the village. Those guys will be sent off to work, so therefore he will gain 2 more coins. Back to player 1, and I think, yeah, he wants to have this witch, so he will place 1 meeple here, which is a very powerful card, to be honest, but I think he wants to have that witch. So let's grab the witch and place her next to her cottage. She will now heal the topmost card out of the infirmary, which should be a miller. Yeah, that's the case. And of course we will place her back next to her mill, but I already mentioned this, she will not trigger again, but of course we will still get money for the witch here, and you gain pretty much 2 coins for each witch, for each miller, and for each brewer you have. So in total that's 4 more coins for player 1. Okay, for player 2 it's simple. He will get this card here in order to grab those 3 meeples, and I think he wants to play the brewer for now. So let's place him accordingly. Right now he has 1 brewer, so he will gain 2 coins. He will get a meeple for that, and now this special ability will also trigger because all of the other players who currently have one mill will also gain 2 coins. But of course this also includes him too, so in total he just made 4 coins and 1 extra meeple. But the same is true for the other players, and I think I may have missed that for one of the other players, to be honest. Not quite sure when I placed the brewer for player 3 if at that point in time this miller was already there from player 2. But yeah, it's just a walkthrough. No harm is really done, but of course I remembered now. So player 1 gets 2 coins for his miller, and here it really doesn't matter how many millers you have. You have to have at least 1, and then you gain those 2 coins. Easy as that. Okay, let's assign those meeples. He has 1 surplus meeple, therefore he gains an extra coin. Whew, back to player 3, and again this is tempting. He will definitely go for this card here. Now he has to think if he wants the attack or if he wants to have the defense. And I think let's go for the defense, because potentially you can gain more points for those guards. So yeah, let's grab this guy, place him next to the guardhouse here. He doesn't have to defend right now, but he gets pretty much 2 coins for each of those symbols here. So for each soldier or knight and for each innkeeper. Right now he only has 1 guardman, so he will simply get 2 extra coins. Even though player 1 is running out of meeples as well, he cannot leave this soldier to player 2, because then he will get hit again, and this is what he wants to avoid. So he will spend 1 meeple in order to grab this card, and I think he wants to keep him as a guard. So let's place him here accordingly. So he will now gain 4 coins for this card, which isn't bad either. Back to player 2, and I think, yeah, that's easy. I think again he wants to go for this card here in order to grab those 2 meeples. Let's decide what he wants to go for. I think he wants to keep it as the miller because he doesn't want to share with player 1 right now. So let's place her here accordingly. Therefore he gains 4 coins, because for each symbol he has he will get 2 of those. Let's place it here, and because he has 2 surplus meeples he will also gain 2 extra coins for that. Back to player 3, and this is of course the perfect card for him. So yeah, let's go for the witch. I think that's really a no-brainer. Let's place her next to the cottage, so he will now heal the topmost card, which is his noble again, who will go directly to the castle but will not trigger again. But he will also gain now 4 gold pretty much. So for each witch, miller or brewer, he will gain now 2 coins. So in total that's 4. Player 1 is down to only 1 meeple, so for him it's pretty easy too. He will simply grab the brewer here, and therefore he will get 2 coins for the brewer. He will get 1 meeple, and because he has at least 1 miller, he will now get 2 more coins for that. But the same is true for player 2, so he also gets 2 extra coins because of the brewery. Player 2 doesn't have to think long about this one, so he will place 1 meeple here. He will go for this noble, that's for sure. Right now it's the only noble he has, so therefore he will now get 5 coins and 1 extra meeple, so he's back at 5. Okay, this is another tempting one for player 3. So I think, yeah, let's place 1 meeple here in order to get an additional witch. I think that's a good idea. So we will place the witch accordingly. I think I have to do it somewhat differently now. He will heal the topmost card, which is the miller, which is great. And now we will score her right away. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8 coins he's getting for that witch. So overall, really a great turn for him. I think I will do one final round, then I will play this game to the end off camera pretty much, and then we'll show you the final scoring so you get an idea how this will work too. Player 1 now I think will, that's now tempting too. Should he go? No, he needs meeples, he needs workers, so I think he will go for this miller here. So he will grab those 2 guys. Let's place the miller accordingly. So for each miller he has, he will collect 2 coins. Even though no one is hurt, I think player 2 wants to get this witch because he wants to collect his sets. He wants to complete all of his buildings. So let's place the meeple here. Let's grab this card for the witch. He cannot heal anyone, but still he will score 8 additional coins. So for each of those symbols, pretty much 2 coins. So overall also not too bad for him. Back to player 3, and this is also tempting. I think he wants to get this noble here. So let's grab her accordingly. So let's slide the lady up. Therefore he will now get $10 or 10 coins in total and 2 meeples. So overall really great. So those nobles are really huge. They can really help you earn a lot of money if you're lucky enough to gain some of those. Okay, those were 8 full rounds. You can tell by tallying up your characters. Each of the players has 8 characters in his realm, in his, I don't know, kingdom, whatever you want to refer to it. And I think I will now play the remaining 4 characters for each of the players off camera, and then we'll do the final scoring. Okay, and that's the end stage for player 1. He has 2 in his infirmary. I think all of the players have their realm completely filled. Here's the final stage for player 2. And last but not least, the realm for player 3. So overall they are not too far from each other, to be honest, in respect to victory points or in respect to coins. First of all, we will now check for the wounded characters in the infirmary. So for player 1, that's 2 characters, so he will lose 2 gold. Overall not really too bad. Player 2 has no one in the infirmary, but player 3 does, so he will also have to spend 1 coin for that. Overall, not too bad. Now we would do pretty much score how good we were in respect to fill our buildings. All of the players have pretty much achieved the same. So we will now multiply 7 by 7. That's 7 buildings. If it would be only 6, it would be 6 times 6 pretty much. But all of the players will now get 49 additional points. So I can pretty much spare me the trouble here because they are all even. And then we would check for the majorities. So let's start with a mill here. Player 1 only has 1 miller. The same is true for player 3, but as player 2 has the majority here, he will now score those 10 coins down there. Then we would do the same for the brewery. All of the players have 1 brewer each, so each of the players would get 11 more coins. So again, we can save us the trouble here. Let's move over to the cottage. And here it's clearly player 3 who has 3 witches, and therefore he alone will score 12 more coins. Then we go to the guardhouse. Here it's a tie between player 1 and player 2 who have both 2 guards, so they will score, what is it, 13 points or 13 coins each. Then we check for the barracks. Here it's player 2 who has 3 knights, so therefore he will score 14 more coins. The most alcoholic realm in the game is this of player 1 with 2 innkeepers here, so therefore he alone will score 15 points in total, and the majority for the castle will go to player 2 and player 3, who will both score 16 points in total. And that's pretty much it. Next we would tally up our money. And here we have the score for player 1. He has 102 coins, player 2 has 120 coins, and player 3 only got, what is it, 99 points in total. Are you kidding me? Yeah, he was really, or had bad luck because of his so many wounded characters. He really had to go left and right and didn't have much choice what he would be doing. So maybe in the base game with playing the A side, you may consider not healing all of your characters from the Infirmary, but overall the witch will still score you good money. But on top of this, you could maybe go for another noble, which would give you 5 points per character card and whatnot. So overall, a lot of stupid decisions from my end, but overall, let's say they are not too far from each other. I really hope you enjoyed my little walkthrough of Majesty here. It was nearly a full playthrough, but I think you really got the idea. I love this game. It's really a lot of fun. It's very easy. You can explain it within 5 minutes or maybe 10 minutes, depending on the character cards or on the size of the cards you're using. But overall, it's really a quick and fun little game, and enjoying it a big deal. Hope to see you soon in one of my other videos. And yeah, until then, bye-bye.